our esteemed judges. It is with great pleasure that I stand before you to welcome you all to the final round. Before we start, we have the list of the finalists with us, and I invite Seeded to share the names of the finalists for the poetry recitation competition.
The names of the finalists of the poetry recitation competition in random order are Aravir Jain from grade 6, Avedita Jain from grade 5, Alia Kohli from grade 5, Rudrakshi from grade 5, and Kimaya Doon from grade 6. Thank you.
And the finalists for the storytelling competition in random order are Adya Kulshrestha, Shanaya Sekhri, Adrika Jain, Poshita Aira Java, and Sirat Kaur Brar.
Congratulations to all the finalists. I would now like to welcome our distinguished judges. I would like to welcome Dr. Kavalpreet Kaur, who is an Associate Professor of Political Science at DAV College, Chandigarh, with a PhD from Punjab University and UGC NET qualification. She has an excellent academic record and extensive experience in teaching, research, and academic leadership. She has presented papers at numerous national and international conferences on topics like politics, gender, and human rights. She has published widely, including books, research papers, and over 100 articles. She has also supervised PhD scholars, contributed to e-learning, participated in media discussions, and received several awards, serving in roles such as Dean Alumni and Election Commission Officer. Welcome, ma'am. Along with her, I welcome Ms. Sukoon Singh, who studied English literature at JNU, New Delhi, and Punjab University, Chandigarh. She was a recipient of the Fulbright Fellowship and teaches Indian literature and cultural studies in Chandigarh. She has published widely, including works with Routledge, and contributed to journals like Dialogue and E3W Review of Books. She has been associated with the Sahitya Academy's Bal Purushkar selection process and was Associate Fellow at IIAS, Shimla. Her debut novel, In the Land of Lovers, 2020, was shortlisted for the PFC WOW Book Awards, and her second novel, 14 Springs of Separation, was recently released. Welcome, ma'am. I would also like to introduce Dr. Nimrat S. Sidhu, MBBS, MD, FIP, FAAI, is a distinguished pediatrician and allergy and asthma specialist. She has the distinction of being the youngest panel member of the Australia and New Zealand Empanelment Embassy. A high achiever throughout her career, she was the top of the fellowship program at PGI and was awarded Best Outgoing Postgraduate Student in 2020. In addition to her medical expertise, she's also a writer who has contributed to national publications such as the Tribune and Hindustan Times. Welcome, ma'am. I now hand over the mic to Seerat to brief us about the rules and guidelines of the poetry recitation competition and to introduce the participants.
Get ready to witness the rhythmic heartbeat of English literature, where ordinary words transform into an extraordinary experience for the soul. Today, we celebrate this timeless art form that continues to inspire, provoke, and define the very essence of English literature. The rules for this exciting competition are as follows. The poem should be related to the theme of nature or color or peace. The content should be respectful and age appropriate, and it should not hurt any sentiments. The poem must be from a published source, and the times for the different grades are as follows. Grade 5, 1 minute and 20 seconds with a short intro, and grade 6, 1 minute and 50 seconds with short intro. A buzzer will ring at 1 minute for both grades and at the maximum time for each grade respectively. So without further ado, let us bring our first performance on stage to kick things off. Our first performer is Aravir Jain from grade 6 with a poem Charge of the Light Brigade.
Good afternoon, teachers and friends. I, Arivi Jain, from grade 6, will recite my poem, The Charge of the Light Brigade, by Alfred Lord Tennyson. Half a league, half a league, half a league onward, into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade! Charge for the guns, he said. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Forward the light brigade! Was there a man dismayed? Not though the soldier knew someone had blundered. There is not to make reply. There is not to reason why. This but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon in front of them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell. Boldly they rode and well into the jaws of death, into the mouth of hell rode the 600. Cannon to the right of them, cannon to the left of them, cannon behind them, volleyed and thundered, stormed at with shot and shell, while horse and hero fell. They that had fought so well came back from the jaws of death, back from the mouth of hell. All that was left of them, left of 600. When can their glory fade? Oh, the wild charge they made. All the world wondered. Honor the charge they made. Honor the light brigade. Noble 600. Thank you.
Audivir spoke for 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Aravi, that was wonderful expression for the poem. Up next, we have Avedita Jain from grade 5 with the poem The Queen.
Good afternoon, judges and my dear friends. My name is Avedita, and today I'm going to recite a poem called The Queen by Brian Pattern. I've never heard the queen sneeze or seen her blow her nose. I've never seen her pick a spot or tread on someone's toes. I've never seen her slide upon a slippery piece of ice. I've never seen her frown and say, "This really is not nice." I've never seen her stick her finger in her royal wax ear. I've never seen her take it out and sniff and say, "Oh dear." I wonder what she does when she sits at home alone, playing with her corgis and throwing them a bone. I bet they've seen the queen sneeze, blow her nose, pick a spot or tread on someone's toes, slide upon a slippery piece of ice, frown and say, "This really is not nice," or stick her finger in her royal wax ear, take it out and sniff and say, "Oh dear." So why can't I do all these things without being sent to bed? Or failing that, why can't I be made the queen instead? Thank you.
The depth of emotion in that piece was remarkable, Avedita. Let us keep this wonderful momentum going on.
Judges to please note that the participant spoke for 1 minute and 16 seconds.
Up next, we have Alia Kohli from grade 5 with the poem I Dream of a Full World of Peace.
Hello everyone, I am Ala Kohli and my poem titled I Dream of a World of Peace, written by Rekin Shrestha, is a reminder that while conflict is loud, peace has a heartbeat of its own. I dream of a world of peace where people can live a life of ease, world where there is no difference between rich and poor, life being pleasant for living evermore. I dream of a world of happiness where there is no side of selfishness, where each and everyone can get their needs and have belief in their deeds. I dream of a world of kindness where people can know that value of love is priceless, where people could realize that of earth we are all children and to have a kind heart is better for all men. I dream of a world of loving mates where people can realize all are great, where people can know that in this earth, with a kind heart, people must give birth. I dream of a world of peace where people can live a life of ease. Thank you.
Judges to please note that the participant spoke for 1 minute and 18 seconds.
Alia, that was an amazing, insightful retention. Now, I would like to call on Rudrakshi, who is in grade 5 with the poem Lines Written in Spring.
Greetings everyone. Today I proudly present William Wordsworth, Lines Written in Early Spring, celebrating nature's joy and lamenting human suffering. I heard 1,000 blended notes, while in a groove I sate reclined, in that sweet mood when pleasant thoughts bring sad thoughts to the mind. To a fair works did nature link, the human soul that through me ran, and much it grieved my heart to think what man has made of man. Through primrose tufts in that green bower, the periwinkle tradeth wreath, and 'tis my fate that every flower enjoys there it breathes. The birds around me hoped and played, their thoughts I cannot measure, but the least motion which they made, it seemed a thrill of pleasure. The budding twigs spread out their fan to catch the breezy air, and I must think, do all I can, that there was pleasure there. If this belief from heaven be sent, if such be nature's holy plan, have I not reason to lament what man has made of man? Thank you.
Judges to please note that the participant spoke for 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Rudrakshi, that was an amazing voice modulation for the poem. Now, I would like to call on Kimaya Doom from grade 6 with the poem The Tiger.
Good afternoon, respected judges and my dear teachers. Today, I would be presenting the poem The Tiger by William Blake. This poem emphasizes how nature has both a dark and mysterious side and an elegant and nice side. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? What the wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? What the shoulder and what art twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer, what the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? And what the anvil, what dread grasp, dare its deadly terrors clasp? And when the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who make the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Thank you.
Judges to please note that the participant spoke for 1 minute and 25 seconds.
Kimaya, that was an exceptional poem of today. So as I conclude with the poetry recitation competition, I would like to thank our participants for sharing your voice and your passion. You didn't just recite poems, you brought stories to life. Now, I would like to call Tuisha to start with the storytelling competition for grade 7 and grade 8. Thank you.
Storytelling, an art form going back hundreds of years, has always been a way to connect people, preserve culture, and bring imagination to life. Today, we are here to hear these learners' unique twists on folktales from around the world. Before we begin, let me briefly take you through the rules. The participants will be from grades 7 and 8, and their stories must be from 5 to 6 minutes long. The first bell will ring at 5 minutes, and the second bell will ring at 6 minutes. Minimal props and costumes are allowed, but they are optional. And they can choose any theme of folklore from India or around the world. And now, without further ado, I warmly welcome you to the storytelling competition. Please put your hands together for our first participant, Adya Kulshrestha.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Adya, a student of grade 8 at Learning Path School, and today I'll be presenting a story titled The Five Sisters, written by me. Long ago, before maps were drawn and borders were named, there was a valley so beautiful that even the gods would pause to look at it. In that valley, at the feet of snow-covered mountains, lived five sisters. They were always together. They woke up together, they laughed together. They ran across the meadows together, and at night, they would lie down under the stars, whispering secrets to each other. People had no one had ever seen them apart. The eldest one was thoughtful and quiet. The second loved to hum little tunes. The third was quick and curious. And the fourth was bold and restless. And the youngest one simply followed her sisters everywhere, afraid of being left alone. One evening, as the sky turned golden, they decided to play a little game. Let's see who can go the farthest, said one, and still come back before the first star appears. But we must come back together, said the youngest one quickly. Of course, always, no matter how far we go, said the eldest softly, and off they ran. They raced through the mustard fields, they skipped over stones, and they climbed a hill to see beyond. But as the sun began to set, their voices sounded farther and farther apart. No one could find each other. We are lost, cried the youngest. Keep calling, said the eldest. And soon, one by one, they found each other and came back together. The youngest held on tightly. I thought I had lost you. Never, said the eldest once again, softly. No matter how far we go, our voices will always find each other. But one day, something changed. High up in the mountains, an old, evil spirit awoke. It was disturbed. Some say it was the spirit of a cruel king, while others said that the land itself grew jealous of the joy of the five sisters. Often, the angered spirit whispered, "Let there be a line where there was none. Let these sisters be forced apart." And soon the valley trembled, the ground cracked, and even before the five could hold each other's hands, they were pulled apart, one to the west, one to the east, one to the north, one to the south, and the youngest one somewhere in between. For the first time ever, the valley was quiet. The younger one would sometimes cry, "Didi, where are you? Are you there? Can you hear me?" But there was no response. Days passed, then weeks, then months, then years. And people began to say, "These five sisters are gone." But they were wrong, because the five sisters had never forgotten each other. They found ways to send each other messages. One would place a flower gently, and the water would carry it away. One would hum a little tune, hoping that the wind would carry it. Old people would smile and say, "These sisters are still talking to each other." Years passed, generations were gone, but people never forgot the story of these 5 sisters. They sang songs about them and they gave them names. And even today, if you stand quietly in that part of the world, you might just hear 5 voices calling each other. Because those 5 sisters were never just sisters. They are the 5 lifelines of a land. They are Satluj, Beas, Ravi, Chenab, and Jhelum. And though the world may draw lines between them, they are still flowing, still searching, still trying to meet. Because some bonds can never be broken. Thank you.
The judges to please note that the participant spoke for 4 minutes and 56 seconds.
That was captivating. Great job, Adya. Up next, Shania Sekhri.
Good morning, respected judges and my dear audience. I'm Sanaya Sekhri from Strawberry Fields High School. Today, as I present this story, you will see many characters through me. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to lose someone you love? This is not just a story, it's a journey of mother's love, her unbearable loss, and the truth she discovers along the way. Now, let me open the book of the Mustard Seed Story. Long ago, in a quiet village, there lived a young mother named Gauri. She had very little in life, but she had one precious treasure. Her little son. He was her laughter, her hope, and her whole world. But one day he fell ill. Gauri stayed by his side day and night. Please stay with me. Please stay. I can't live without you. But one morning he did not wake up. No! No, this cannot happen. Gauri refused to believe it. She held him close and ran from door to door. Please, please give me medicine. Please help my son. Please, someone help my son. There must be a cure. Someone, please help, help. There must be a cure. But everyone shook their heads. At last, an old woman said, "Go to the wise elder at the edge of the village. If anyone can help you, it is only her." Gauri ran and fell at the elder's feet. "Please, please give me something to bring my child back. Please, please help me." "Yes, I can help you. But first, bring me a handful of mustard seeds. But remember, bring it from a house where no one has ever known sorrow." "Yes, that's easy." Gauri went to the first house then to the second. Can I please have some mustard seeds? Yes. But first tell me, has sorrow ever visited your home? We lost our grandfather. Mustard seeds? We lost our brother. Mustard seeds? Sister. Husband. Grandmother. Grandfather. Child. There's sorrow everywhere. Sorrow here, sorrow there, sorrows everywhere. As the sun set, Gauri stopped walking. She looked around at the village, at the people, and for the first time, she understood. There is no home without sorrow. Gauri held her child gently. Tears fell, but this time they were quiet, not because of fear, but of understanding. Gauri returned to the old woman's house. I could not find such a house, and now I know why. Sorrow is a visitor that visits every door, dear, but understanding it is the beginning of peace. Gauri went searching for a cure, but what she found was the truth that no life is free from sorrow, no life is free from sorrow, and no heart is alone in grief. There is no home without sorrow, there is no home without sorrow, but there is strength in learning to let it go. Thank you.
Judges to please note that the participant spoke for 4 minutes and 50 seconds.
Impressive storytelling. Well done. Now let's welcome Advika Jain.
Good afternoon, esteemed judges, teachers, and fellow students. Today I, Advika Jain, will be narrating a folk tale all the way from Maharashtra titled The Brahmin's Dream. Long, long ago, in a small and quiet village, there lived a poor Brahmin. He had no land, no cattle, and no steady source of income. Each day, the Brahmin went from house to house begging for food. On some days, he received a handful of rice. On another, just a piece of bread. But often, the poor Brahmin went to bed hungry. Life was difficult, yet he continued on with patience, hoping that someday his fortunes would change. One fine summer's day, after wandering for hours and hours under the hot sun, the Brahmin finally received something special, a pot full of flour. The Brahmin was overjoyed when he saw it, and he carefully carried the pot back to his small hut. This will last me many days, he said to himself happily. Once home, he decided that he should keep the pot safe. He hung it on a peg near his bed and lay down beneath it, feeling content and satisfied. He began gazing at the pot, and soon his thoughts began to wander. Later, the poor Brahmin went fast asleep. In his dream, he saw that a terrible famine had struck the land. Crops had failed, and people were begging for the last grain of rice. At this time, my pot of flour will become so valuable, the Brahmin said. People would outbid each other, offering higher and higher prices. 10 rupees, one would call. 15 rupees, another one would say. 20 rupees, someone would finally offer. Yes, the Brahmin exclaimed in his dream, I'll sell my pot of flour for 20 rupees. With this 20 rupees, he said, I'll buy a pair of goats. I'll feed them fresh and green grass, and soon they'll have children. The Brahmin's smile widened as his herd of goats grew. But the dream didn't stop there. He decided that he had so many goats, he should probably trade some of them for cows and buffaloes. Now he imagined himself surrounded by cows and buffaloes. Milk was flowing in abundance. With so much milk, he said to himself, I should make some good use of it. I'll make butter and curd and sweetmeats with it. Oh, I'll become the wealthiest man in the village. But the dream didn't stop there either. He imagined that he would now start trading in pearls, diamond, and precious jewels. He would build a grand mansion and have servants to take care of him. He lived like a king, and the dream carried him even further. He would build gardens and fruit orchards. People would know him as the richest man in the town. Then he saw that the king was coming into his house with great respect, I must say. Then the king would offer the beautiful princess his daughter's hand in marriage. They would have a beautiful grand celebration and have happy little boys and girls running around the house and playing. Then his expression changed. If they get too naughty, I'll pick up my stick and I'll beat them, and I'll beat them, and I'll beat them. Stop that, the Brahmin shouted. Behave yourselves. Suddenly, imagining that he was hitting the children, the Brahmin's hand struck the pot of flour. The pot of flour fell to the floor and shattered. All the flour was all over the floor. The Brahmin woke up with a startle, confused, looking to see his mansion, his riches, his gardens. But there was nothing. No goats, no cows, no princess, and no mansion. Only a broken pot of flour and all its contents to the floor. Oh, the Brahmin said softly, all my dreams, gone. But the Brahmin didn't stop there. He learned a really important lesson that day. One mustn't build castles in the air, but should stay grounded in reality to be the successful person they dreamed of. With that, thank you.
The judges to please note that the participant spoke for 5 minutes and 4 seconds.
You really brought that story to life, Advika. Now please put your hands together for our next storyteller, Poshita Aira Jawa.
Good morning, respected judges, teachers, and my worthy opponents. Today, I, Poshita, bring to you a tale from the Betal Pachisi, the tale of Veervar. This is a legendary 11th century folktale attributed to Acharya Somdev. Composed in the era of Maharaj Vikramaditya of Ujjain, this story talks about sense of responsibility and courage. I have chosen this story today because in today's world, where leaders are prioritizing power over people, this story reminds us that real greatness lies not in authority, but in sacrifice. And on this note, let us travel back to Ujjain. It was midnight. The cremation ground was enveloped in darkness so intense that the air itself felt suffocating. And through this, the king of Ujjain, Maharaj Vikramaditya, walked on. A limp and cold corpse was slung listlessly across his shoulders. A voice suddenly pierced the darkness. This was the voice of Betal. It said, King Vikram, I shall tell you a story. If you speak, I shall fly away. If you know the answer but hold your tongue, your head shall shatter into 1,000,000 pieces. and if you lie, you shall perish. Answer me, O king, who is the greatest? And so Betal began. In the city of Roopnagar, a brave warrior by the name of Veervar walked into the magnificent court of Maharaj Roop Sen and said, Your Majesty, I seek employment for only 500 gold coins per day. 500? The court erupted in disbelief. But the king was intrigued, not by the demands, but by the man himself. He hired Veervar, but noticed that he spent only a fraction of his earnings on his family. The rest, he gave it away to poor people and people in need. He was a man of absolute service and impeccable discipline. Until the fatal night came. Rain lashed against the palace walls, and a woman's cry pierced through the midnight rain. Concerned, the king ordered Veervar to go and investigate. Veervar set off on his steed, and the king followed close behind. By the banks of a dark river, Veervar found a lady, weeping. Who are you? He asked her. I am the Raj Lakshmi, the fortune of this kingdom, the lady replied. And why do you mourn, mother? Veervar asked her. Because in 3 days' time, your king shall die. Veervar stood firm. Is there any way to save the king? The lady fixed her gaze upon him. Yes. But a life as pure and pious as the king himself has to be sacrificed to the god of death. A son for a king. Veervar returned home to his family and told them the grim truth. His wife stood firm through silent tears and said, If one life can save thousands of others, then it must be given. His young son stepped forward and said, Father, let that son be me. Some children inherit wealth and luxury, and others inherit freedom and valor. Great sacrifices often go unnoticed, and so at dawn the family entered the temple. For the first time, Veervar's hands trembled. His son knelt calmly before him, and the sacrifice was made. The mother, being the mother, could not bear it and collapsed lifeless beside her son. Veervar, emptied of all that made life dear, raised the sword to end himself when suddenly somebody from the shadows yelled, Stop! Veervar turned around. It was the king. He saw the bodies and the blood of his most loyal servant. His soul could not bear it. He raised his sword to his own throat and said, Innocent subjects being sacrificed for my sake? No, my soul cannot bear this death. But before the steel could fall, the temple blazed with light. The goddess Raj Lakshmi had appeared. Moved with their devotion, she restored the lives of Veervar's family. Betal hissed, King Vikram, tell me now, who is the greatest? The son who gave up his family, the soldier who gave up his life, or the king who was ready to die for a common man? Tell me, O king, or perish! Vikramaditya took a second. Then he replied, The king is the greatest, because a son's duty is to honor his father. A servant's duty is to protect his master. But for a king to honor his servant's life more than his own crown, that is the ultimate sacrifice. That is greatness unbound. Right again, King Vikram, Betal hissed. But you have answered me. And with this, the corpse vanished once again into the night. Thank you.
Judges to please note that the participant spoke for 6 minutes and 4 seconds.
A very expressive and engaging performance. And now last, but certainly not least, our final participant, Seerat Kaur Brar.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sirat Kaur Barar, and I'm here from Manavrachna International School, Mohali. Today, I'm going to be telling you the story from Panchtantra. The name of the story is The Mean Lion and the Wise Rabbit. Once upon a time, in a green forest in India, there lived a mean lion. He was the king of the jungle, but he wasn't a kind king. He was greedy. He would kill and eat animals every day, even when he wasn't hungry. The other animals were very scared of him, so they thought to talk with the lion about this. The sheep, the rhino, the horse, everybody came. They said, "Oh, great king, please do not kill us. Every day we will send an animal to your den at lunchtime. In that way, you will not have to hunt us and we can all live in peace." The lion liked this idea. He said, "Fine, but if the animal is late, I will kill everyone." Many days passed, but one morning it was the rabbit's turn. The rabbit was very small, but he was also very wise. He didn't want to become the lion's lunch. While walking towards the den, he saw an old, deep well with water. When he looked inside, he saw his own reflection. That gave him a great idea. To keep the lion waiting, he walked slowly towards the den. He stopped to eat grass. He watched the birds fly. He took his time. When he reached the den, the sun was high and the lion was very hungry. His stomach was growling and he was impatient. He was pacing back and forth with his mouth wide open. When the lion saw the rabbit, he roared, "Why are you so late? And why are you so tiny? You're just a little snack for me." The rabbit bowed down and said, "My king, it's not my fault. There were 5 other rabbits with me, but on the way we met another lion. He said that he was the king of the jungle and he hated all my friends. He let me go just to tell you this news." The lion shook his head. He said, "No, that can't be possible. I am the only king of this jungle. Show me where he is hidden, little rabbit." The rabbit hopped and led the lion to the well. "My king, he is hidden in this stone castle," the rabbit said while pointing towards the well. The lion went aside the well to check it for himself. When he looked inside, he saw his own reflection, but he thought it was the other lion. He was so angry that he roared, but the roar came even louder from the well. He thought that the other lion was shouting at him. That made him very furious, so he jumped right inside the well to fight with the other lion. But unfortunately, there was no other lion. He got fooled. He didn't know that he got fooled. He tried to get out of the well, but the water was so deep and so cold that he drowned, and the village was safe again. The rabbit hopped back home, happy and free. He showed everyone that being smarter is way better than being stronger. Thank you.
The judges to please note that the participant spoke for 4 minutes and 12 seconds.
That was delightful. Thank you. And with that, we reach the end of today's competition. I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to the participants, judges, and audience for making this event so special. And while the judges compile the results, may I invite Dr. Kamalpreet Kaur to say a few words.
Good afternoon, my fellow judges. I'm sure who had a very tough time judging the contestants. Respected Principal Ma'am, who is busy in her office. The organizers, esteemed faculty, who I see are working very hard. The volunteers, the photographer, and dear students. We teach in a college, Dr. Sakoon and I, so it's always a pleasure to come back to the schools to see what you are doing, because ultimately you're going to land up with us. The schools are doing a great job, and of course, this school, we always get very, very good students from this school. So hats off to the managing committee and to the teachers who work very hard for you. Today's competition was brainstorming for all of us. I can speak for my co-judges also. And you all prepared very well. It takes great strength to come here and speak. We gave our judgment. We did our best. For us, you all are the winners because none of you fumbled, none of you forgot your speech, none of you got intimidated. So you all are winners. I hope the consensus candidate goes home with the prizes. But believe me when we say we have to choose a winner, because that is what life is all about. But believe me, all the contestants in the poetry section as well as the storytelling were very good. I congratulate the teachers who prepared the students of the respective schools, and here's wishing you lots of luck, more confidence, and hoping that all of you who are sitting here do come on the stage in greater numbers so that you grow in confidence and evolve every day. Thank you so much.
I would like to invite Dr. Sukoon Singh as well.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice start to the day for us and my co-judges, of course. Like, my co-judge just mentioned that we spend our days with slightly grown-up kids. So every time there's an opportunity to visit a school, it enlivens all kinds of things, And I can say, just witnessing you all climb up the stage and put everything out there, like 100%, the kind of level of confidence and the kind of level of choice of poetry and stories we saw there. I mean, full marks to all of you and also to your teachers. Because honestly, I have a lot of respect for school teachers, the amount of work they have to put in at a daily basis, on a daily basis, to nurture the students so closely. So my compliments to all the teachers who are accompanying the school contingents. And for us, it's one of those things that we witness, but for the students, each one of you who are part of it today, whether or not you're climbing up the stage, remember that in hindsight, this day will stand out in your memory. It's going to be one memory tucked in there. And for a lot of students who presented poetry and stories today, it's the first step that you will take towards a larger love of literature. Sometimes all it takes is like one poem. We had excellent choice of poems today. You had Wordsworth, you had Blake. All these are like the classical poems we got, Tiger and Lines Written in Early Spring. These are all classics of English literature. So sometimes it's just enough to, have your brush with it like a starting point. and that opens a door. And that door opens and connects you to this big world of literature. Literature is like an ocean. So what we had today were little nuggets. And I'm sure, for some of you, it has stirred something, whether, it'll be a starting point for a greater exploration, whether it's at the level of reading. And remember, like these days, we're all keen to become authors. Sabko likhna hai, we all want to write. And I think we have more authors, budding authors, than ever we have seen before. That ambition is all right, but let me tell you, there are no writers before the readers. So, first you have to be this passionate reader. They're both, sides of the same coin. But first, it has to be that you have to be a committed and passionate reader. And I think this is an opportunity today for all of you to start connecting with reading. And that, of course, will lead to bigger and other things. So thank you very much. I won't make my speech very long. You all, I'm sure, are stretched out in other ways. But thank you very much for having me. And it was lovely to hear all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. May I invite Dr. Nimrit to please announce the results?
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm audible now. So I'm going to take a minute or two and increase your nervousness and anxiety and hold on your results for a moment. I just want to say one or two words. Every time I come here, I take back so much with me. And I just want to say 2 or 3 lines. The first is that any child who tells a story can change the story. And today, I, along with my judges, have been able to witness all your brilliance. It was such a power-packed performance, I couldn't even blink. All of you who today stood here, whether it was for storytelling, whether it was for poetry recitation, you were amazing. It takes a lot to come from there, come all the way here and say words. It's truly, truly amazing. And you should all take a minute and thank your wonderful teachers who are not just nurturing knowledge, but also imagination. And we all know how important it is in today's world. So just one moment longer. So storytelling has been going on for years now. Our ancestors used to sit around bonfires and tell stories to the next generation. They passed on voice to voice. What it did was, what we see today, is that they passed on values, cultures, and traditions. And most of you told this telltale of Veerwar was also one of them. So it was amazing. What I realized today is something that Rabindranath Tagore said many years ago. He said, I became a better writer because I started reading a lot. I started seeing a lot. He said, what it takes to be a great writer is not to be something great. It's to be something curious. And we all saw that today. I think we have a curious generation who's going to do wonders. And I'm just going to end it by saying it, that you all, the stories you tell are the voices you become tomorrow. So be bold, fearless, and live them honestly. So with that, I have your results today. The first position for the storytelling competition goes to Poshita Ira Java. Very well said. Huge round of applause. The second position goes to Adya. Okay. The third goes to Advika Jain. The fourth goes to Seerat Brar. And the fifth goes to Shania Sekhri. You were all wonderful. Yeah. So for the poetry recitation competition, The first prize goes to Avidita Jain. The second is to Aryaveer Jain. Third is Kimaya. Fourth is Rudrakshi. And fifth is Alaya Kul. Wonderful, wonderful performances. Thank you.
Now I would like to call all the judges to give out the prizes to our participants. Do I go first to fifth or fifth to fourth? First to fifth. Okay. The first position goes to Avedita Jain.
Yes, ma'am, you can move ahead.
The second position goes to Aryaveer Jain. The third position goes to Kimaya Doon. I'm just continuing. The fourth position goes to Rudrakshi. And the fifth position goes to Alia Kohli. Now, for the storytelling competition, first position is Poshita A. Java. The second position goes to Adya Kulshita. The third position goes to Advika Jain. The fourth position goes to Sirat Kaur Brar. And the fifth position goes to Shania Sekhi. I request the judges to please stay on stage, and I would like to invite Ms. Jaspal ma'am and Ms. Nilofer ma'am to please give away the token of gratitude. Let's have a huge round of applause for this event. I request Ms. Jaspal ma'am and Ms. Nilofer ma'am to please escort the judges. Thank you.
Thank you, judges. We'd request Jaspal ma'am and Nilofer ma'am to please escort the judges. Yeah, you can just escort. Thank you so much. Please escort the judges. Okay, thank you. Same here. Thank you, ma'am. While we wait for the judges to leave the auditorium, let's give them all a big round of applause. All the other schools are welcome to go down and partake lunch after this. And all the other students to get back to the classes, please. We wait for the judges to leave. Just wait. Please wait. Stay